You want to make more money? Come, let's learn the tricks. There are 10 main tricks that can help you to make more money. Tip number 1, study and memorize the steps of service. If you're not already familiar with the steps of restaurant service, first go through deeply and learn the spec of service standard. Each restaurant have different sequence of service standards to meet the best guest experience. Here's an example of what the steps of service may look like during a typical guest experience. The steps of service in action. Within 90 seconds of the guests being seated, greet table, take drink orders. 4 to 5 minutes seated, deliver drinks, take meal orders. 9 minutes seated, drop off condiments, cutlery, napkins, and other supplementary items, check if refills are needed. Food delivered, ask, is there anything else I can bring you? 2 to 4 minutes after the food is delivered, check in on the quality of food and ask about refills. Turning tables efficiently is key to making more money, but there's a fine line between turning tables and rushing guests. This is where the steps of service will help you. Following these steps, you'll stay on par with your restaurant's average table turn time, keep the flow of customers going, and maximize your potential gratuity. Tip number 2, you must need to know your menu A to Z. Memorizing the menu, both food and drinks, will vastly improve the quality of service you're able to extend to your guests, whether you're learning how to be a server in a fine dining restaurant or a local burger spot by the beach. Flip the script for a second, say you go out to eat or grab a drink with friends and you ask your restaurant server for a personal recommendation or the ingredients included in a menu item. How would you feel if your ask was met with mumbles, a confused look, and a "let me go ask my manager" annoyed? Your guests will be, too, if you don't learn the menu. As a restaurant server, it's your job to not only know the menu inside, out, and backwards, but to be able to make recommendations for guests, share all the available add-ons, and answer basic questions about common ingredients or allergy risks. Memorizing the menu will also help you save time by eliminating the need to run to the kitchen or bar with questions or to the POS to see if the requested add-on is available. Knowing the menu will help you maintain or potentially reduce your table turn time, seat more guests, and accommodate more checks in a shift. And make sure what is out of stock for the day. It can spoil your guest experience anytime, if you're not aware of it. Tip number 3, get familiar with how the POS system works. Understanding how to correctly use your restaurant's POS system will ensure that every single one of your guests gets exactly what they ordered, without waiting too long. Giving a lot of rush orders to the kitchen because you didn't enter something correctly or forgot an item entirely creates a back-of-house bottleneck and ultimately hurts your bottom line. The kitchen must satisfy your last-minute ask along with the orders already in progress, potentially throwing off table turn time and lowering the amount of guests you usually accommodate in a shift. Tip number 4, learn your restaurant's allergy protocol. Nowadays you will have one or more guests dining with food allergies during any given shift. It is keep getting increase. As a result, the majority of restaurants nowadays have strict food allergy processes in place to safely accommodate diners living with food allergies. Restaurant servers should not only learn their restaurant's allergy protocol but also be forthcoming in asking each and every table seated in their section whether anyone is dining with food allergies. This will reduce the potential for contamination in back-of-house operations and keep every guest safe and satisfied with their dining experience. Tip number 5, buy a ton of pens. In the front of house of a restaurant, there is no hotter commodity than pens. Even though you ask them not to, your guests will steal them, intentionally or unintentionally, and you will eventually find yourself empty-handed with a 9-top who all want separate checks. Stock up on pens, seriously, like a doomsday-level amount of pens, whenever you have a chance. Tip number 6, introduce yourself to every guest, and write thank you on every check. Any server will tell you they have at least 1 billion tasks running through their mind at any given moment during a shift. Though it can be hard to manage so much competing information, priority has always been, and always will be, creating a top-notch dining experience for every guest. This means you cannot revert to robot status by just taking, entering, and fulfilling your guests' orders. Making the effort to connect with guests can have a drastic impact on your tips, your sales, and your restaurant's overall performance. Loyal, repeat customers generate 10 times more revenue in their lifetime than new customers. They're also a lot of fun to hang out with during your shift. 7. Learn how to upsell. Upselling the menu is a strategy front of house staff use to recommend a higher priced item based on conversations they have with guests about likes, wants, and preferences. To upsell effectively, you need to ask discovery questions, questions that teach you more about the guest, genuinely listen to their answers, and respond with a relevant recommendation based on the information they gave you. 8. Always tell your guests the specials. Never assume your guests know what they want until it's entered in your POS system. Even the pickiest of eaters will be curious about specials, new menu items, your favorites, and any other recommendations you can offer that would enhance their dining experience. Remember, you know your restaurant's menu better than they do, even if they're a loyal customer. You have plenty of time between the moment they sit down and the moment they place their order to upsell them or convince them to give a certain menu item a try. You'll notice that in the suggestions above, the upsell ends with an assumption that an appetizer or wine will be ordered. The more you normalize these things, the more likely your guests are to go along with it. And, as any server knows, tips increase the more items a table orders. Some members of a group may not order anything at all, but by talking through the options and learning about their interests, you create a lasting connection that could result in a repeat visit, a great online review about the service, or even a visit from a friend or family member of theirs who heard them raving about their experience. 9. Leave a token of appreciation. A personalized connection between a server and a guest makes a big impact. Handing out small tokens of appreciation, like a candy, mint, or fortune cookie, is a very simple way to increase tips. 10. Ask your manager for consistent feedback. The best restaurant POS systems will be able to track each restaurant server's sales performance. This helps management identify who the strongest team members are, who could use a little help, and who could benefit from some additional hands-on training. Improving your performance requires that you know your baseline. Talk to your manager to set up some time to go over your current performance. By tracking this data over time, you'll be able to see how you are improving and identify specific areas that could use some extra attention and effort. Work with your manager to identify 1 or 2 growth areas you can work on improving over the next quarter or 6-month period. Set some goals, and then track your performance regularly. Some additional techniques: if you follow these tips, trust me, you can make more money simply. Greet your guest as soon as possible. More care and extra mile service. Offer baby chair before guest asking. Offer some fruits for babies, parents will be more happy. Right product to the right guest. Don't increase the bill. Always, if the guest order more, inform them it seems to be more and suggest them right amount of food, they will be very happy. Always be ready to help the guest. Always be around them. If the guest not satisfied with the food or beverages, inform your manager and do service recovery. Serve the food, start with ladies always. Whenever order for kids drinks, make sure no ice and use plastic cup.
Subscribe and support me for more videos.